All right, Alec, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing okay. This is kind of we're entering a new frontier again in terms of trying to figure out how we're gonna even do this anymore.
Yeah, because
So a
we
little
after we
little
lost
scared.
yeah after we lost Rabbit, then we went to MetaStream and we're like, oh, hopefully this is a long term thing. It seems to work just fine. And then just
It did.
miraculously, like a month ago, just stopped letting me when I'm recording it hear the audio for both you and the episode. So now we're resorting to primal methods, not even using the service, and just syncing up manually like a savage
Yeah, because
animals.
we're using Cast now, which is basically the company that bought the name of Rabbit. Basically, already had a streaming service, and they just or like a syncing service type of thing. But the problem with it is it doesn't really work very well for what we're trying to do, unfortunately. So we're having to resort to this method. But we also found that even though it seems to not be able to handle my internet again, like nothing seems to be able to, but the video quality is drastically improved. So that's something that's a plus over Skype, even though it's probably still going to end up being jank. But I don't know. We'll have to see. This is why it's a new frontier,
So
trying
yeah,
a couple of different
yeah,
things at the same time.
you'll have to bear with us with this episode at the least. Like, and we'll see if it's an excruciating experience throughout. Then
Yeah,
we'll
and if
have
so,
to
we'll just probably
change.
just go back to Skype.
Yeah, and yeah, it's gonna be tricky, but yeah, we're trying out multiple things at once here. Okay, so previously on Survivor, we talked about in another video talking about. We don't have to go into it too much, but it has been several weeks at this point since we've actually watched Survivor, so it'll be kind of new for us. But we had the whole tribes basic thing to take away is that the tribes got rearranged
Yep,
because
the tribal draft.
yeah, Jenna and Dave picked out the tribe and they were the hot young ones. They were
Oh
hot,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. They
that's
were.
and Gene got voted out. So that's all we need to know really.
Yep.
And then we'll get back into it. All right, so click the link in the description if you want to see the reaction highlights. Hopefully, it comes out all right, and that you can do that, and then come back for the discussion
Yeah,
afterwards. All
yeah.
right.
Okay.
Okay, so that
Okay.
was episode 6 of Survivor, the Amazon.
Yeah, that sure was episode
We're not
6
gonna
of
talk
Survivor
about.
the
We're not gonna
Amazon.
talk about that preview. That's another
I want
time.
to, but okay.
That's a big tease at the end.
Yeah.
All right, so
It was. Too bad we couldn't actually have Shauna along for that, of course, right? But
all right, so what's going on?
so Shauna's out. That was kind of the big thing. There's a lot of Alex Shauna in this episode, a lot of flirtation. So there's not going to be any of that anymore. So we got one full episode of that, and then Matt was trying to sort of weasel his way in there a little bit. It was kind of weird. Um, but
Mm,
there's
mm,
on the Jabru side, there was just a lot of that. On Tamaki, no, that was on the Tamaki side. On the Jabru side, we had. Wait a minute. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm getting real confused as to what tribe is which, just because like
mhm.
they still kept the same names, and it's
So
just really hard to sort of parse it out.
Tamaki won both challenges. So
Right,
that's
right,
Heidi's tribe.
right. That's Heidi's tribe.
Heidi,
Right.
Butch, Roger,
Yeah. Yeah,
Dave.
Alex and Shauna are in Jabiru. Yeah, sorry, I like wrote something weird. I just made a weird note. So yeah, they're a big thing. That's kind of the whole thing. Tamaki, we kind of like we talked about how they're a more diverse group. And they're a little bit more dynamics going on there. Sort of. I think
I mean,
there's just a lot like they're different personalities. That's for sure.
yeah, different personalities, but it's
Whereas,
definitely not as fleshed out as Jabiru has been because Jabiru
yeah,
we've seen going into tribal council here, and the
yeah,
focus
they
was
all had
kind
a
of all on
community
them.
bath together.
Yeah, community bath.
in this episode.
They had Rob going talking to Dina.
Yeah, that alliance. So he's basically both of them needed help, more or less, and they just kind of came together and they're like sort of strategizing together. So that's kind of cool seeing that play out. I think long term goal is Rob wants Matt out eventually, Matthew, but you need him for fish, and so they're going to keep him along for as long as they can.
Yeah, and he's been working him a
Um,
bit here. So he wanted him out because he was annoying, but
yeah,
he's like, I'll
yeah,
bear with it because it's been
yeah.
excruciating, exhausting talking to him and everything.
So we had challenges. We had the log rolling mini game from basically from Mario Party,
Mm-hmm.
um, and
Which is fun. It's fun.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun to watch. And then we had the meat mouth grab. That's what I called it.
Yeah.
Grabbing giant hunks of meat off a big old bone
Which is like the
off of
name of
something
the
from
name of
something.
this episode. More than meets the eye.
Oh, I see that. That's
So you did get a little tidbit from
yeah,
Tom McKee from Butch, and heartfelt comments about Christy.
yeah. Butch is proud. Butch is really proud of this group, and I really like. Yeah, that was just a great moment where he's just kind of like being. There are these moments in my life that that I remember. That's gonna be one of them when you know when you opened up to us and basically like yeah he just is just like the feelings of pride that he feels for his tribe and for her specifically because of just like how happy she seems to be and how jazzed and energized she sort of makes everybody and herself. So
Mm-hmm. Even though
yeah,
seemingly
it's cool.
she would be the first one to be voted out based on what they
Yeah.
established before.
So we didn't really see much of that. They kind of teased at the beginning. They're like, oh, the guys are just kind of going off without us, whatever. But
Yeah.
then
So it was like,
yeah,
oh, what if they do go to tribal? That'll be interesting, but
yeah,
no payoff on that yet. So
we
yeah,
shall see in future.
the big theme of the episode was Well, there was a lot of focus on Shauna. The dating game with
Yeah,
Shauna, Alex and Shauna,
yeah.
uh, and
And then
then
she actually picked Rob as the date she liked the
the
most.
best
So
date. Yeah.
the best date, yeah. So Rob, he's a little romantic. I mean, it was a good idea. Good idea for a date. I don't live in New York, so I don't know how that would be possible for me.
Well, yeah.
Your Christmas date.
So yeah, there's that. There's basically that. There's um, whole Shauna scenario with Alex was a big focus, and there's a whole. You see a lot
Yeah,
more from Rob talking strategy. Rob with Dina, and then Rob talking about Matt, how he's a complete idiot, and only use him as long as he does what I want him to, and then
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
at the end talking about how Shauna puts others before herself, which makes her a terrible survivor player. So you get
yeah.
a lot of grilling from Rob, and he also talked about Alex. How he was like
He did.
he
Yeah,
wanted to be his like number one ally, but he has not been as focused on the game as of late. So it's gonna
yeah.
shift
So
her
there's a
thinking.
lot. Rob and Dina seem to be, at least from what we see, seem to be the most focused on the game, gaming the game, and so that's been making for some really interesting. Uh, Seeing how they treat everything is really always really interesting to conversations. Oh, their confessionals are, I think, some of the most entertaining and interesting. So
Yeah.
we'll see if they can get further. Um, so far, it's actually hard to choose a favorite for me this season. I mean, I already have my cutie award, obviously, like pegged out. I'm not gonna spoil it, but if you're watching all the reactions, you already know basically who I'm gonna choose at the end of this season. But it's hard to really pick like a favorite contestant at the moment for me.
Hmm.
So I mean, I love Butch. I've always liked Butch just because we've always joked that's my demographic, the old white men.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. There's just something I like. There's most of the people are like have interesting qualities and a way to play the game. So, I mean, I don't want to say every single person, but like I have multiple people that I'm kind of rooting for. So I want to see how that all plays out.
And I feel like we got to be close to a merge here, right? Because
We're getting down to it.
we're
Yeah, we
six
got to be.
episodes in. I feel like it was usually around
Yeah,
7 or 8 is when the merge is, right?
yeah. Typically, yeah.
So yeah, I'm not gonna. not looking into all the numbers of how many people are left, but it's probably
Yeah.
somewhere soon. So that'll be interesting seeing how they all come together. All right, so check back next week.
Yeah, and we will be talking more Survivor,
Yes.
the Amazon.
Thank you.